Hi again, it's Peter from Record Power. On this short video I'm just going to take you through a few little maintenance tips how to get the best out of your Maxi tool post. So just a general clean over and check over. So first of all, we're going to remove the actual tool rest itself. The shaft in this will need a little clean up. And just across the top where your tools rest, what you'll get, and you get this on all of them, is where your parting tools and any tool with an edge and it's just left marks on here, you can clean that up. So as when you put your other tools across there, you just want that to be a nice smooth surface. It's got no dents and scratches in there, so it's just transfer your tooling across it nice and smooth. So we'll do that. Not a lot to clean up on this, mostly basically the bottom again. This is quite a heavy unit again, but what I want to make sure is this is nice and clean underneath, and also it's clean inside of here, and get rid of some of the dust. I'm not going to take the shaft out. It's a big heavy duty lump, so really doesn't need anything doing to it. If for any reason you need to do anything on this, you've got a split pin that goes across the shaft itself. Before you knock that out, just get something to mark it with, either like a center punch. You can just punch two parts of the shaft, the body and the shaft, so as you know which way that pin goes in, because if you knock the pin out and put it in the wrong way, then it's going to be misaligned. Then you've got to pull the thing out. But if you mark it beforehand, it'll be easier to find your way back into there again. So this just needs to clean down. I'll take off the plate. This is showing roughly about a thread and a bit on there, so if I take a note of that, then if I say like on the previous one, when you put this back on, if you leave that off just a little bit, then you can make your adjustments until you've got an adequate lock on the ear. So that just needs an 18mm socket. It's 18 or 19, 18 I think. Yeah. Take that off. So if I put this in the vise, I can just work on the bottom of it then. Should put a bit of timber underneath. Get it up to the lock and adjust it up. So again, all I want to do on here, just make sure all that's nice and smooth. Got no bumps and... So give that a quick trim round. That'll just clean those faces up a little bit. And if you just draw the file over it like that, rather than you'll just flatten it off, that will get rid of any lumps on there. And then just a bit of wet and dye. Just polish the face up again. It's not too bad on there. the shaft a little bit of a clean off. A little bit mucky on this one. I think what's happened here is a lot of the preservative that's been put onto the shaft for transport has not been cleaned off. So what we've got is a lot of old grease on there. And what that does will just attract all the dust and everything else on there. So just a standard little wet wipe to get that off. Well, not standard, industrial type ones that we do. Yes, that's just got all the grease and muck out of it. And I'll dry some of that off as well. I'll just give it a little spray to clean it off. So that's nice and smooth. So what I'll do now is just give that a little clean, a bit of lubricant inside of there and wash it out. Still some grease around the thread on this. Get some of that off. Get the dust out of there. So this is a pretty quick one, but it just makes the use of the machine a little bit easier. What you could also do, and with a little bit of care, is just clean the inside of there, because there's a little bit of rust on this one, not a lot. I'll just spray it first. Just clean that out. Just where the hole where the locking screws go through. Right, so that's that bit done really. Just turn that over. So that's nice and smooth as I said on there. Got most of the stuff off there. Don't want a lot of lubricant on here again for your dust adhere into it. Just want everything to be nice and smooth. A little bit of oil, not a lot to be honest. Just a couple of smidgens of on it. That's about as much as it needs. So just leave that a little bit back from what you had it before, just so it's easy to transport further back onto your lathe, and then make your adjustments afterwards. you can always just get underneath the bed with a spanner or a socket. So okay, that's a pretty quick one to do. The shaft on here has got a little bit of rust on it, but if you've got like a scratch pad or something like that, again, just clean that up. It won't take much to clean that up. It'll soon sparkle up. That's come up okay. Now you've got to, again, where you transfer your tools across the top of it, you've got a couple of options. You can use a file and just draw it along the body of it to get rid of the lumps. And just check with your fingers, you can feel any lumps on there. And everybody's likely to, at some time or other, you're going to have a little dig or just catch on there. It's easy enough to get out. And some of these tool rests, this one's not too bad. It's quite easy to clean off. Some of them can be a little bit hard. I've got my little sander here. You can do it with one of these, but watch the dust. I haven't connected this up to an extractor because I don't want the sparks going inside, so I'm only going to do a little bit on there. So all I'm going to do is just clean that over up against my stop, and I'm just going to dress that over. Probably won't need much more than that. Yeah, it's got most of it off, so it's got all my high points off there. It's a little bit smoother. All I can do now, put that back in again. Again with a little bit of wet and dry or emery cloth. Just polish that up a little bit. Doesn't need a lot. And you're not going to, take that much off that you're going to affect your centre height or anything, because you're adjusting that as you go along anyway. So it's just keeping this in a nice working condition. And just check it's all nice and smooth to the hands. There you go. So that's a very quick and easy little few tips for your Maxi tool post. On this occasion it's a Maxi. This is very applicable really to your others as well in the range or anyone really. So it just keeps the machine in a good serviceable condition. So hope that was some use to you.